everybody, and welcome to our Day 2 Anime Expo 2018 recap. A lot happened yesterday for both of us, I guess.
It was lit, on fire.
It was indeed lit.
It was hot.
So I'm going to go ahead and jump straight into some industry stuff that I did yesterday. Patrick, you mostly did the concert yesterday.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time in the exhibit hall, which was cool to see all the neat setups they have. Everybody this year went up instead of out. Last year we had a lot of wide open booths. This year we have Psy Games building a literal castle. That's pretty neat.
Overwatch brought their payload and all that and touring thing. So I started off the day with the Funimation announcements panel. I actually really started off the day by accidentally walking into the second half of the Seven Deadly Sins panel with Yuki Kaji. That was completely unexpected, but
Yuki and Bryce, right?
Yeah, Bryce Papenbrook was also there.
They're both Meliodas. So.
Yuki Kaji is very fun to listen to talk live, but so the Funimation announcements panel happened. It was mostly the same sort of stuff that they usually announce every year. A lot of part 5 and part 6 of regularly running series coming out on Blu-ray, but they did have some stuff that I was not expecting there. So they are releasing both of the free movies, theatrical films, on Blu-ray, and they're also doing a free movie collection, limited edition, with both of the movies that they've released so far, and either a short or two shorts that I'm not familiar with free enough to know, but it's called The Bond and The Promise. I don't know if those are
ran before movies. Did they? Did they make any backstroke for Days dub jokes?
No, they did not.
Are those Blu-rays going to have the dub?
I would assume so. I mean,
I haven't heard any news about the dub since that joke.
Yeah, I don't know if they even showed those movies dubbed when they showed them in theaters, but they are releasing both of those on DVD or on home video, Blu-ray and DVD. They're also releasing Pop Team Epic on Blu-ray and DVD. I don't think that's too unexpected for anybody that's been following that show. One that I was really, really happy to see that they're actually committing to on home video is Recovery of an MMO Junkie.
Good.
Regardless of how you feel about the creator of that show and giving him money.
A good show.
It was still a good show, and it would be good to support shows like that coming out on Blu-ray, which is definitely not the norm.
Yeah. I'm surprised it's them and not Sentai. That has Sentai written all over it.
Funimation and Sentai have been kind of trading blows this year with weird acquiring stuff. Probably their biggest announcement yesterday was the fact that they have acquired Zillion and are going to be releasing it for the first time on home video complete in the States. They are not doing a dub for it, and the existing dub is literally only 5 or 6 episodes because the first release was just never finished. So I saw a lot of positive reactions to me posting that on Twitter, on our Twitter yesterday.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah, so that's super
neat.
Cool. It's
That's
a super
discotheque move.
It's a super highly regarded, very old series, but one that people have been asking for a long time, basically since they stopped releasing it the first time. They're also doing a Mamoru Hosoda movie collection, limited edition box. Summer Wars, Boy and the Beast, Wolf Children, and The Girl Who Left Through Time are going to be the 4 that they have selected.
I feel like The Girl Who Left Through Time is forgotten because it's the oldest one, but it's my favorite out of that.
An incredibly good movie, as they all are, and I'm definitely going to be purchasing that because
I would if I didn't have all of them already.
Yeah, that's very good. They also confirmed what they already announced, that they are indeed bringing Witch Hunter Robin to Blu-ray sometime in the near future, as well as they're bringing the Real Life OVAs coming this fall, and then they had at least one simul dubbing announcement in that they are going to be simul dubbing Quadruple S.Gridman.
Is that how we're saying it?
I'm going to start saying it from now because it is SSSS.Gridman, but I think Quadruple S.Gridman is way cooler.
It's about the only more ridiculous name you can get.
And that is going to do it for Funimation. Nice. So that was it was mostly standard stuff. A lot of Dragon Ball, a lot of that type of here's One Piece Part 19.
That's kind of Funimation, though. They have their bread and butter, and that's how they still exist.
Funimation always has some gems, though, in that announcements panel, and they always put out quality home video releases.
How was it feel of the panel? Was it awkward emceeing, or are they
No, thankfully, they have gotten rid of... Oh, well, I don't know if they've gotten rid of or they've quit, but the 2 people that we are used to delivering that panel are long gone, and they have since replace them with two people that I think one person from marketing and then another person from like their either editing or like social media department or something. I don't know. They delivered. It was
better than before.
It was better than the Viz panel. Let's just say that.
Okay.
It was a lot easier to listen to. And then I'm probably gonna have a write up for this. I'm just gonna like warn y'all straight away. AX has been incredibly draining this year, and I'm probably not gonna have any write ups done until after the convention is over and I'm back home. But I have like literally 2 days off once I get back home, so I'm just gonna dedicate that to finishing all my write ups and putting them up on ohnoanime.moe/AX 2018. And the thing I'm going to briefly speak about now is one of the things that I will definitely have a write up on, and that is Liz and the Bluebird. So Liz and the Bluebird is a Naoko Yamada directed Kyoto Animation movie that is based on a spin-off novel from Sound Euphonium. But really what it is you could kind of consider it a pseudo sequel to the original series. It takes place during Kumiko's second year, so Asuka and all the upperclassmen have since left and are no longer part of the story. But it follows, oh boy, I'm gonna be really bad with names.
It's not Liz.
It follows Nozomi and the girl who plays oboe, who I cannot remember her name. Hey guys, if you want to look that up, Mizore. There we go. Mizore and Nozomi.
Thanks,
they were a pretty central focus of the second, I guess, core. I don't know if it was second season. Basically,
I just remember them from the overnight camp.
Yeah, they were a pretty big focus of the second season overall. They were basically new characters that they introduced in the second season. But as we see them now, Nozomi has officially joined the band again as the lead flute. She's like kind of the upperclassman there. And then Mizure is one of two oboe players now. And let me tell you, they introduce a new oboe playing character that is by far my favorite new Hibike Euphonium character.
Okay, I'm glad you said
hands
new
down.
Character because you were starting to scare me.
I have a lot of girls that I love very much and treat as my own family, but
good show for that one.
She is so incredibly good and wonderful. She's a first year, and she's very cute and sweet, and is one of those characters that is very concerned with like making her senpai like proud and engaging her and stuff. And of course Mizure is like just resisting that at all turns, but when it finally does happen, it is it was one of the 80 moments in that movie that made me cry.
Is that like the main tension in the film? Is that what it's about? Or?
So the film is
what is it about?
The film is actually really crazy. It is very much not like the original series Sound Euphonium. Most of the characters.
Is it written by the same guy, or is it spin off by a different author?
I don't. I think it is written by the same by the same author as the original Sound Euphonium.
I mean, we get spin off manga and stuff all the time that aren't.
I want to say that. I don't know. I will have to confirm that. But so it is. It follows Mizure and Nozomi going through sort of a period which is mirrored in this piece that they're playing called Liz and the Bluebird, which the story is basically that there's a girl named Liz who one day finds a girl on the side of the road passed out and like takes her back to her house and nurses her back to health. And this girl starts living with her, and she realizes after a while that this girl is actually a bluebird that had been visiting her for a while and has like the ability to like transform. And basically, long story short, Liz realizes that even though she loves the girl, she's basically, by keeping her in her human form, is like holding her down. So she makes the decision to set her free, release her from her cage so that she can fly and be free.
So knowing Yamada, I'm just going to guess that this is entirely depicted within the film.
It is. Yeah, it is. Like a big, literally, like, there are several. Shift. Yeah, there are several animation sequences where the style shifts. It basically looks exactly like a Ghibli movie. Like,
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, and the visual style in itself is very different from Sound Euphonium in a lot of ways. The character designs are way different looking than Sound Euphonium. They're just they're lankier. The uniforms look different. It's very much its own thing. But yeah, so that story that is the sort of like meta tale of the film is also being told through the evolution of Mizure and Nozomi's relationship. And eventually there's a realization that, like you think Mizore is the bluebird and Nozomi is Liz, and then you realize that it's actually the other way around by the end of the film. It's a really amazing film. It is another, it's another in a long line of masterpieces from Yamada. I have no qualms saying that, and even people that aren't necessarily as big of a sound euphonium fan as me, which is hard to do, are going to enjoy it for sure. It is also incredibly Yamada in its direction. It is
all I need
unapologetically Yamada. There's tons of legs, tons of feet, and tons of characterization.
Tell a lot
through
about
those.
how people are holding themselves.
Yeah. And the other thing is Kensuke Ushio, who was actually at the panel and delivered some remarks before the film's premiere, did the soundtrack for this one, which is not the same person that did the soundtrack from the first series. But the thing that he revealed that I thought was really interesting before the film is that actually all of the diegetic music in the movie, so basically all the music that they're actually playing, was actually composed and recorded by him. So Ushio did the music, the soundtrack, and then the other person who I'm so sorry I can't remember their name, but did the music for that they were actually playing. So
That's neat.
It's every bit as good as Sound Euphonium. Fans of all of the characters from the original series will be very happy because there is a really wonderful moment where Reina is being Reina and being kind of a dick, but in service of trying to improve somebody's playing. And there's a scene where Kumiko and Reina basically play Nozomi and Mizore's part to try to like shake them out of whatever's happening.
That sounds fun.
And you're just like, oh, well, here's the good gay girl. Like, here's the girls who are good at being gay, and then here's the ones that don't realize they aren't yet. It's an amazing film, and I'm very excited that I got to see it. And I would not be surprised if it was a long time before anyone else was able to.
I thought we heard that it was in a few months. Did I imagine that?
I don't know. They acted like there was going to be a theatrical release soon, but I don't recall seeing any sort of
has
solid
been doing us
announcement.
real solid.
Pony
lately.
Canyon has very much said that they are highly considering bringing it over to the States, but they could have very well made an announcement.
That's a tough one to bill, though.
It's going to
advertise.
be an exceptionally limited release if they do release it here, because it doesn't exactly have wide appeal outside of here. So, you want to talk about the concert, and then I'll talk about the Trigger panel?
Sure, I can do that. So, yesterday was the Japan Super Live, the second of 3 Anime World Monster parts. This one had, in order, they had Main, Sanketsu Girl Sai. I'm sorry, I should say who they are. Main, she got her big break as Cheryl Gnome in Macross Frontier in 2009, 2010. I think those years are right. Then we had Sanketsu Girl Sayuri, who I didn't know very well, but she did the ending for Erased, and then I want to say the 2 endings for Kuzuno Honkai, Scum's Wish, and some other anime. She played all anime themes. Not everybody did that this time. I know Main played some of her own stuff. After Main was am I missing one before Amy?
I don't think so.
No? Okay, so
there
after that was
4, I think.
Eimer, Amy, M.A., her.
However you say her name.
She sang a lot of Fate, which was by far the most popular thing the entire night.
She has a lot of Fate music, it turns out.
Yes, yeah, and it was cool because I'm sorry, no, that's the next artist. I'm very tired. After her, she was slow, which was a weird point for that, but people really enjoyed her. And then there was Yuki Kajiura, who of course is a very famous composer whom we've talked about at length on this show before. But she was interesting because she's a composer with sweeping orchestra. Instead, they had some soloists up, and most importantly, they had 3 singers as a stand-in for Calafina, which was pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Calafina broke up.
Did they play some Calafina songs?
No, but just like the vocals that Calafina
Okay.
normally does. Because Calafina records for Kajiura without it being Calafina music.
Yeah.
So they had 3 very skilled stand-ins. It sounded
cool.
exactly the same. As a whole, it was definitely a good time. Like, all the sets were solid. Everybody had a good time. But I felt like it was backwards. Because Main and Sanketsu Girl Sayuri were very, very high energy. Like, got the crowd into it, clapping and all that. And, it doesn't have a fast song. She comes out in a white dress and sits down, and her beautiful, lovely, raspy voice comes out. And then we have background music for the last. Yeah. It was pretty backwards.
So, what exactly did Yuki Kajira play? Like, did she play soundtrack stuff?
Yeah, she played. Well, she played a couple openings and endings as well. We had to get a Sword Art Online music in there. It was of all the Sword Art Online themes to do, she did the Ordinal Scale one, the one that people know least from the movie.
That's interesting.
That was an interesting pick. She did Fate songs as well. I think she did 2 of those, and Emma actually came out to work with her.
I heard about that.
Which
that's
was cool because that's the first time they've actually been able to perform together.
Wow.
So that was neat.
That's really cool.
All of them spoke English too, or at least attempted to, which was awesome. But for me,
seems to be a running theme this year.
World Monster is trying that. We'll see if the Kawaii Live fixes Cinderella Girls from last year, where they were on stage for 25 minutes doing skits in Japanese without translations.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good time. Sakasa Girl Sayuri was definitely a surprise for me because she comes out and she's tiny. Like there's no way this girl is more than like 4'8", and she's barefoot and she's got like messy hair and comes out with this acoustic guitar that's as big as her and like a poncho, more or less. Like it looks like a Mexican poncho, and it was
cool.
She was good. She slapped.
She's the one. Yeah, she's the one I didn't know out of all the ones that they announced.
So. Like I knew the Erased ending, but I didn't watch Kusuno Honkai, and I forget the other show she did a song from, but she was really good.
All right. I find that to be a running theme with these sort of events is that there's always the ones that you don't know that actually
they bring it. They bring it.
Yeah. Well, I was not there, unfortunately, because they decided to also schedule the Trigger panel and the premiere of Quadruple S.Gridman at the same time as this concert.
What did the S stand for?
Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad, of course.
Wait a second.
Even Cyber is with an S, yes. Even they did not know what Quadruple S stood for last night. Like, Wakabayashi was like trying to remember it. He was just like, Super Samurai. Like Tatsu was like trying to translate for him.
I'm just curious about this because from the second they announced it last year, I was just like, what is this going to be? And the trailers were the complete opposite of what I thought.
We will get to that, but there is a lot of Trigger before that. So the guests for last night were Hiromi Wakabayashi, who is a producer at Trigger and kind of is one of their most forward-facing faces.
I think he does all of their appearances.
Yeah, he does.
All of them.
He has a very busy schedule. We also had Tatsun. I don't actually know what his real name is, but he's Tatsun. He's their translator / social media guy in English. We had Kill la Kill character designer Sushio, and we also had Darling in the Franxx mecha designer Shigeto Koyama. That was the main panel. They also brought out some Gridman guys after the fact.
Sweet.
But yeah, so they started the panel like they usually do, like absolute rock stars.
Yep.
They played that dope drum and bass track. They did their their promo video. They shot out more Trigger money. Wakabayashi threw out Inferno Cop coins into the audience. It was amazing. Sushio came out and did the Sushio chant. It was everything you would want from a Trigger panel. And then they launched.
We come here when we don't have a concert to go to.
Then they launched into some Franxx stuff right up top. They did not spend a whole lot of time on Franxx, mostly because the last episode literally is airing today. Waka started off by saying that is it Nishigori? Is the director?
Oh, yeah.
He said that Nishigori had called him and said that they had literally finished the episode like an hour before the panel, and it was airing today. So yeah, it sounds like an anime.
Sounds like Trigger.
So they revealed some big basic stuff about like kind of the production of Franxx. They said they started production basically right after they finished Kill la Kill with Wakabayashi and Koyama both involved from the very beginning. They did straight up come out and acknowledge that working with A1 was incredibly difficult because they're like polar opposite studios.
Yeah, they operate entirely differently.
Yeah, they also acknowledged the death threats.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's surprising.
They kind of
laugh it off, or they just talked about it?
They kind of were just like, one of our production staff also got a death threat. Like they were kind of like to like the Western fans.
Yeah.
Good. So they showed some early design docs and image boards that were really interesting because they look like video game concept art.
Anything with Shigeru Koyama on a panel, I'd want to see his art.
Yeah, so they showed
one of the most fascinating design processes.
They showed like some early concept art with an early classic sword that literally was just Godzilla. Like
that sounds awesome.
It was just Godzilla.
But was it blue?
It was blue and black, yeah.
Good.
They also showed some early Koyama designs. Most interestingly of which is that the early Franks all had the human faces of their female pilots. So like Strelitzia had Zero Two's face.
Yeah.
I think they also showed Delphinium had Ichigo's face. The early Delphinium design was way different than what they had in the show. It had like 2 spears and was like way more blue, like almost like a neon blue. They also showed some like very early designs for the like main Franks in the show, and they were way more varied, way more aggressive, and way less 2006 Die Buster.
Sounds like
Koyama.
they were more Trigger.
Yeah, they definitely were more Trigger, and they seemed to rein that in. But yeah, they had like varied like body shapes and sizes. They didn't all just look like, a Star Driver mech. And then they started talking about the Kill la Kill game. They showed a new trailer, which they actually revealed 2 nights ago at their ArcSys panel, which we weren't able to go to. But it's coming in 2019 on PS4 and Steam. The biggest reveal that they had that immediately made me 50,000 times more interested in this is that Satsuki is the main character. And it is going to be telling.
What type of game is it?
It looks like an arena fighter or an action game.
Okay.
At least the gameplay that they showed was literally like one-on-one in a open 3D space with a moving camera, so it looked like an arena fighter. Satsuki is the main character, and it is going to be telling a different or alternate story from the TV series.
Not just a different point of view, like a different story?
Like a different story. Like basically not the story that the TV series tells.
Okay.
And they illustrated this by saying that, hey, remember at the end of Kill la Kill when Ryuko had like a final form? Satsuki is also going to have one of those. And they revealed its name, Junketsu Shinzui. And Tatsun on the spot translated that as Junketsu Quintessence.
I like that translation of it, because Shinzui I don't think is an actual word. They just put 2 together.
So that's insane to me. I cannot believe that they're going this way with this. I thought it was just going to be like a more expanded telling of like what happens in the TV series. But yeah, and that is why when Sushio had that like promo art that he did with just the Elite Four and Satsuki, they were like, hey, you might notice that Ryuko is not on this promo art for our Kill la Kill game. That's because Satsuki is the main character.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's really cool, and I absolutely cannot wait for that.
That's the thing. Like, I'm super worried about the game because I'm not sure if I ever talked about the Little Witch Academia game here, but it was bad. It was bad, but I still enjoyed it because it gave me more Little Witch Academia content, and they drew new scenes especially for it and recorded new stuff. I'm sure it will be the same for this. Yeah.
They also revealed that Sushio and Koyama are both doing design work for it, and Kazuki Nakashima, the original writer, is also doing some writing on it in some capacity. So I am super duper excited for that. Way more excited for it than I was before, mostly because it's just like completely new stuff.
I hope the gameplay is good.
Yeah, I don't have too much faith in that, but honestly, any new Kill la Kill story stuff is enough for me. Like
I said, Little Witch Academia, it was a bad game.
Yep,
but I still enjoyed it.
Speaking of bad, they also revealed that they were planning on launching their Patreon at that panel, which is a thing that I do not support, and neither should you, because I think, like Canepa said this morning on Twitter, they literally have a massive backing company, unrelenting support from Aniplex, and multiple sub-studios now. They do not need a Patreon.
Maybe if the Patreon goes to animators.
That's kind of what they were hinting at. They said they wanted to use it for animator pay, live drawing events, or like special merch. I just... a big company does not need a Patreon. Anyway, they also briefly touched on a thing that I completely forgot they were doing, and I think most people forgot they were doing. They're doing a collaboration with a game developer called Lab Zero Games, which is actually a Western developer, which is also a collaboration with Titmouse Animation. I guess
every time they come out here, they go see Titmouse first. I know they're super close with them.
They brought out Will Fang, who is a producer from Titmouse. And I guess Trigger is animating the opening for the game, a la Project Cross Zone. But they actually showed the opening for the game because I guess it's finished.
Oh.
Yo-Yo Shinari is directing and key animating it. And he also did some designs for it. It looks very like Legend of Korra. It's
I'm down.
I can't really compare it to any other Trigger work because it just didn't look like it, but it does look like something that Yoshinari did.
Yoshinari is a chameleon. Yeah, he can draw whatever he wants.
Yeah, they showed some of his design sheets and stuff. They all looked really cool. The game is called Indivisible.
Shit! If you had led with that, I knew.
Yeah.
They Indivisible has a big presence in the exhibition hall.
Yeah.
That game looks great. I've had it pre-ordered for some time.
Yeah. So Trigger is doing the opening for that game,
Yes.
and I guess Titmouse is doing the rest of it, at least the animation. But yeah, so let's get to why I came, which is Promare. They talked a lot about Promare, a lot more than I thought they were going to.
You should talk a lot about Promare.
Yeah. So they literally just started off with some footage, like a short PV. It is a mecha anime that I know that has been confirmed, but this has been doubly confirmed. The main character looks exactly like Kamina, just slightly different, but so I guess the basic facts are the main character is named Gallo. He is a member of like a rescue squad or like a firefighting unit. He pilots a mecha called the Matoi Tech. But they emphasized that this did not have any relation to Kill la Kill because a Matoi is something that a feudal Japanese firefighter would wear when fighting fires. And that's the sort of insinuated purpose of the mecha is literally just an assistant to fight fires.
Interesting.
So Koyama is both on mecha design and character design. So he's designing the characters for the anime as well. This style is unlike anything I've ever seen from Trigger. It's like not really character or mecha design wise, but the backgrounds, the palettes, the backgrounds. It's very neon. It's very clean. It's very polygonal.
Kind of sounds like what we expected Ninja Slayer to be.
Kind of, yeah. But this is like even more in that direction. So yeah, they showed like actual design sheets for Gallo, who is the only character that they revealed yesterday. He's literally just like a jacked dude with crazy like anime ass blue hair, wearing the bottom half of a firefighter's uniform and the boots.
Sweet.
And is shirtless. So he's
cool.
Yeah, he's a big boy. Let me see here. They said that he was very stupid but strong-hearted. So this should not be surprising anybody.
Sounds like any shonen protagonist.
Yeah, they literally said, think of anybody like Simon, Kamina, Ryuko, and Panty was another one that they brought up. And to illustrate the fact that this character was another in a long line of Imaishi characters with spiky hair, they literally showed a doujinshi cover that Imaishi did from when he was 20 before he was a professional animator, and like basically like they were showing old school photos. And Wakabayashi literally went up to the screen and pointed at the dude's hair and was like, look at this is the evidence, this is all the evidence you need. Just like basically
Poor
talking
guy.
shit about him. Yeah, it was really funny.
Can't even defend himself.
Yeah, but the mecha is really interesting. It looks to be like at most 10 to 15 meters tall. It's very small compared to like any like super robot or anything.
It has compared to Tengen Toppa Gurren.
Yeah, it has like an open cockpit. So like literally the pilot sits in the open, and then there's like these like almost like jungle gym bars in front of them, kind of
like a roll cage.
Kind of, yeah. Think of it like a roll cage. It's kind of like a smaller version of like a Pat Labor. You know how like a Pat Labor that has like the open top of the cockpit? Well, this is just straight up like it looks like he's either sitting or standing in just like an open air cockpit. It also has sunglasses.
Like so it has a face.
It is very much a hybrid of the sort of Gurren Lagann type of design with Koyama's aesthetic. It's a lot of like whites and oranges, very very similar to like Frank's and Star Driver and
cool
Diebuster and stuff.
I like his design. So.
But it is more chunky, like a Gurren Lagann mech, like tiny feet, big middle body. And yeah, the front
Does
of
it
it
look disproportionate or well balanced?
I mean, it looks well balanced, but it also looks like an anime ass robot. Like it doesn't look like a thing that would exist in real life, but it also like Gallo also doesn't look like a man that would exist in real life either. So, Sushio is going to be a senior animator on the series, and they showed a bunch of like action Genga that he had been working on of the mecha itself. They also showed, they showed some image boards and backgrounds, basically just like some background stuff that they had finished. And the most interesting thing about it to me was that the city that Gallo lives in is basically New York. Like, it has the like orange steam stack, and like they literally showed him standing in a pizzeria with the like checkerboard tablecloth. Like,
that'll be interesting.
It's very much based in an American city. And then of course it wouldn't be a trigger panel without them showing a video message from Nakashima and Imaishi, who are still the greatest comedy double act of all time. They asked Nakashima for any story details, and he literally went on a 5-minute rant about that Promare stands for proto-nightmare, and that it's a world inhabited by nightmares. And then at the very end of it, after we had all finished taking notes, he said, and none of that is true.
Wow.
It was the biggest asshole move. But yeah, he literally came out and they were like, the robot's called the Matoi tech, huh? Like Ryugo Matoi? And he was just like, oh shit, I guess we're not that original. He was like, no, it's absolutely no relation. So, yeah. So they were funny. And then the last thing they talked about was Gridman. So they brought out the character designer and the producer. Both very young, very bright-eyed, and very excited to be there. Probably
that's
also
fun to see.
It was very fun to see, because they were very clearly shocked that many people had come out to see.
Welcome to Trigger.
Yeah, Trigger in another country. But yeah, they confirmed that it was basically just taking inspiration from the original Gridman anime. It was not a direct adaptation of the original series. Basically, they emphasized that it was not a reboot, but it is basically a fucking reboot. They also said it's a different universe and world from the Anime Expo short, or Animator Expo short. They showed some design docs of stuff that we basically have already seen from the PV, all the characters that look very good. Main character's name is Yuta. Sushio is also doing some animation on this. And they showed some more characters. There was one quote that I put on Twitter that Wakabayashi said about Amamiya: the director loves thick thighs, because there is a character in that show that has thick thighs.
I'm gonna like that character.
Yes, she's good. I like that character as well. There's a lot of, all the characters are good in that show so far. Then they showed the actual design of Gridman himself. And I think probably the coolest thing they revealed about this is that it is actually designed by a designer from Tsuburaya. I think his name is Goto.
Really? Where'd they find that
guy? They found him designing all the modern Ultraman stuff. So like all the like cool mecha suit looking Ultraman,
cool.
that's
that
him. And it does look very much like that.
I'm down with Ultraman.
It is very like almost jarring how stylistically different it is from like the actual anime stuff, but it makes sense because he exists inside of a computer. So,
perfect.
Battle scenes are a hybrid of traditional 2D Sakuga and 3D CGI, and I didn't think that this would be worth mentioning until I saw the show, and I realized that it was actually a total hybrid of 2D and CGI, and I'll talk about that in a second.
Good.
Yeah. Lots of mecha animation. They supposedly have a incredibly famous and well-known Gurren Lagann animator doing scenes for the show that they would not reveal who it was. So anybody's guess on that.
Did Obari work on Gurren Lagann?
I don't know.
So you think famous and you think animator.
Yeah.
You have to think Obari.
They also revealed for the first time a new character designed by Shigeto Koyama, named Alexis, and Alexis is the original villain from the Gridman anime. Sweet. And he looks like, in this show, he looks like if you took I don't even know how to say the mecha from Die Buster, Dick Snoof. If you took Dick Snoof and you mashed him up with a Star Driver mech and then put the cloak on him, that's basically. There's a helmet.
Okay.
Thing. I don't know how to describe it. It's really weird, but you see him kind of in the first episode. They also confirmed that this is like a B team anime, so it's like mostly their younger staff. Probably a lot of people that worked on Kisniver are working on this. Yeah. And then to close out the actual panel itself, they showed a video from Amamiya of him basically saying, hey, if you he's like, I'm aiming to create the future of animation here. If you've seen Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Gurren Lagann, and he basically named like Dragon Ball. He said, this anime will make them all obsolete. And then he ended the video by going, Mirai Yokoso. And then did the justice finger, and that was the end of the video.
I'm glad he hasn't changed.
He has not changed
This
one
is the
bit.
first
He
like
also
actual
was,
animated thing he's done in a while.
he also was like filming it in a bathroom. Like it was really weird.
He probably sent it that morning.
Yeah, it was really funny. Anyway, so that was the end of the trigger panel, and then 15 minutes later, they showed the first episode of Gridman. It was really weird for the most part. I don't know if I'd say I loved it, and it was like, you know, one of those things where you get kind of taken in by watching something with a bunch of people who are very excited for it. I doubt that I would have had the same reaction I did were I watching it alone by myself.
Yeah.
But the first probably 17 minutes of the episode were incredibly slow, incredibly measured, and
That's
like
surprising, knowing
almost like
Amemiya.
surreal, and just no music at all.
I wonder if it's properly finished.
I don't know. I couldn't say. But
Okay. My question for you is the driving force before watching episode 2, would it be curiosity because it didn't really get you the first one? Like you said, it was weird, or would it be because you just want to see the second episode?
I want to see the second episode because the last 4 or 5 minutes of the episode kind of revealed what exactly this is going to be.
Okay.
And I think they really did do the one good thing that they did more than anything else in this first episode was they did a really good job striking that balance between anime and tokusatsu, because the type of stories that these shows like Gridman tell, there really is a lot less substance to them than what a 13 episode anime series tells. And I think they did a good job striking the difference between like, okay, this is an anime that's going to have like some high drama and some substance, but also this is literally a big dumb robot man that punches monsters, and that's like the whole premise behind the show.
Doing a monster of the week, I assume.
Basically, at least that's what I can tell. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to fuse the traditional 13 episode anime format.
You can do that with Monster of the Week.
With Monster of the Week. But I will say this. The scene where Gridman actually happens is fucking awesome. Like, it is very much respectful to
That's important. Most Toku fans, like, enjoy Toku, but the best part is still going to be it happening.
Most of the battle itself was actually CGI, but not... I don't know, it looked good and it looked interesting. It's not, I'm sure Sun Zegan is doing a lot of animation work on this, but it still looked like that anime CGI, but it was a little bit faster of a frame rate and it was a little bit more polished. The music behind it was mostly like hair metal almost, like really weirdly enough.
It kind of makes sense.
Yeah, but most importantly, he did... he literally chopped Kaiju's head off and then did a Gridman beam down its neck, and it was really dope.
That sounds solid.
But yeah, it was like literally very quickly, even in like the same cut, like Gridman will rear back to a punch in CG and then do the punch in 2D Sakuga. It was really interesting. Like, you know what it reminded me a lot of is the sort of quick cuts that they had in Ninja Slayer, which actually makes sense because same director, but it like that sort of like very stylized, very cartoonish 2D sort of stuff. So,
but also knowing Amemiya, the next episode could be completely different.
It's very true. Yeah, and like you were saying, I genuinely don't know if that episode was completely finished when they showed it to us because the show isn't airing until fall.
Yeah.
But what I saw mostly, I was interested in. The characters that I saw, I really liked, even though like a lot of them seemed very downplayed in the first episode. But their designs are amazing. Like, those character designs are all really good looking. So
I'm watching one show right now for the character designs. I'm sure I can do another.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited for it. It hopefully will do the thing that no other anime has done and finally make a tokusatsu anime worth watching. So
that'd be nice.
If anybody can do it, it's Trigger. So anyways, I think that's going to do it for us. ohnoanime.moe/AX 2018 is where all of this stuff
will
lives.
Eventually be.
Yeah, we'll get the write-ups done when we're not dying of dehydration in this 105-degree desert heat.
Yeah.
But until then, we'll see you later.
See you.